It's with great sadness that I have to say this, but I am disassociating myself with Leo Zagami, a person who's been on my show many times. He's now in America, is going to be here for 2 months. And the reason I'm doing that and no longer going, at this particular time, going to have him on my show is because over many emails in his entrance into America stating that he is now the head of the Monte Carlo P2 Lodge, the very organization that we've been trying to fight against. I find it incredible, an incredible statement, a statement that can't be justified. And I will not associate myself with the enemy. And just as if Licio Gelli was the head, or another one of these guys we've talked about, I can't do it. Now, whatever is going on, I really understand it to be a problem of basically confusion. And so at this particular juncture, with sadness, I say this. And it's happened to me before with other people I've interviewed. And what I wanted to say was this, that I think in all of the confusion, in all of the statements that I've said on this show, one thing we will learn is that through a passageway, through a continual movement towards the truth will be known. And statements like this by Leo show me that something else is going on, and I really would like to leave it at that, because in a situation like this, it is very sad to report it, but I have to stay true to what I've said, and that is once I learn something is not right on guests that I've presented great information about fighting this enemy, I then have to report that perhaps there was a hidden agenda, because this statement that he made is just incredible, and it can't be justified. And no one becomes a defector of the Illuminati, then becomes the head of the Monte Carlo Lodge. It's impossible. It's confusion. It is meant to basically, one, I think, discredit people who are trying to help him, and two, I hope people out there understand that and call him on this. And perhaps he's one of those guys that have been mind controlled by them for years. I don't know, but I'll tell you what: when somebody comes up with a statement like that, stepping into this country after stating he was a devout enemy of the Illuminati, and then comes in and says he's now the head of the Monte Carlo Lodge, which means if Henry Kissinger is a part of the Monte Carlo Lodge, he controls Kissinger, it becomes complete nonsense and complete confusion, and there is an ultimate reason for it. And I don't want to get involved in it. I will disassociate myself from it and lead people into a direction of truth, not betrayal. Yeah, I think I got a caller here, and I love doing this because it really breaks it up, and when people want to talk, I love to get them on.
Hey, Grant, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got Clinton in Ohio, and then let me just remember, just give me 1 second, because I got to come back and talk about what Rauschning said about Hitler. Go ahead. And we got another caller, so who's ever calling, just wait. I can listen. I can hear the beep. So go ahead, Clinton.
Good deal. Greg Szymanski, Quentin Torres here. I'm calling from Iowa. Okay. I don't know if you remember who I am or not. I'm actually now Chief Director of Green Lion Security, and that's for Leo Zagami.
Yeah.
Wanted to call in today and see what was going on, see how I heard you guys talking about a lot of great stuff, and wondered what was happening.
Well, I said on my show I've disassociated myself with him because he stated when he came to America he's now the head of the Monte Carlo P2 Lodge, which is basically the very enemy that we talked about, and I will not, there is no, for example, there is no explanation for it, there is no excuse for it, and I will not listen to any double talk about it. So that's my point.
I'm not here to double talk, Greg. I just wanted to give a call and say, the planning for this it's taken a little while. There is nothing there is no second agenda. There's no hidden agenda here. The only thing that we're coming to do, just as we've, you and I have personally spoke many times about just trying to get the truth out, okay? And that's all there is to it. Just because there's rejoining rather the Monte Carlo Lodge, there are, as you know, Greg, I know that you're very well versed in this, and the point is that there are several different factions. There are There are positive sides of the fence and there are darker sides of the fence. Leo is now helping organize the people on the proper side of the fence to help reorganize and refocus and take away the negative goals and aspirations that the corrupt members of that society have.
Well, listen, thanks for telling me. We're all out of time, and we'll be back in 3 minutes. You know, shows like this sometimes can really give me a headache, but sometimes we'll get through them. You know, there's a bright side to everything, folks. But let me just respond to Clinton, who was telling me that Leo is now ahead of in the Illuminati again, but on the good faction. And as I know, Greg, as he said, you know, Greg, there are good factions and bad organizations. Well, let me just say this. There's no compromise here. When somebody says he's the head of the Illuminati of Europe and the head of the Monte Carlo P2 Lodge, then there is no compromise. And what I say is this. If there is good factions, if Leo is in a good faction, if they are in a good, others in that group are in a good faction, completely dissociate from that evil organization, as the P2 was in Rome, expose the evildoers, and let that organization wither and die on the vine. And there's no compromise. So I'm not going to go back on my statements. And secondly, this kind of reminds me of the movie Angels and Demons coming out, because what's going to happen is you're going to watch that movie and the evil Illuminati is fighting the Vatican and the Vatican's on the good side. There's no compromise. You're either in or you're out. And apparently people are going to listen to this double talk, and if Leo, you know, he knows me, he can talk to me on the side, but he's not backing down on what he said, and I'm not going to support someone who works with this organization. It's that simple. And it's very, very, to me, very sad. Well, let me take a call. I have Leo from Iowa. Go ahead.
Hello, Greg, it's Leo. So I guess that I'm not the most welcome on your show today, but I would like to be here because as a truth seeker, I guess you want to know the truth. So we are here to state the truth, nothing but the truth. What has happened in the last couple of months of my life has made me realize many things, and who are my true friends and who are my enemies. In this case, the Monte Carlo Lodge is now dissociating itself from either Licio Gelli or either the Vatican. And we state that because you knew very well that already in the Monte Carlo Lodge we dislike the fact that we have a gay pope. For us, having a gay pope is an insult. It's the biggest insult that can ever happen in the world. For us, the gay pope needs to be eliminated from the face of the planet. So we don't support the structure of the gay pope, and neither the general of the Jesuits, which has personally been involved in kidnapping my son, as you know. So this is a personal matter, Greg. A very personal matter. And I want to know why. Stating things without making me go on the show, because you had invited me prior to as you know, we had made an arrangement. So I want to really understand why you don't want at least my side of the story to be told. At least we can be able to clear up the matter.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I made a decision, and I think I stated on the email that I didn't want to have you on today as a guest until further discussion. And I didn't get an email back, and so I didn't want to go on because I felt that just the statement that you made, I am the head of the European Illuminati, put you on the side of people who are doing the exact evil against this country and are working with the Vatican. So I can't accept that. And so you have to tell me what that means.
Public. I think that actually this is one of the biggest events that is happening, because when people from the inside want to start going public with certain things and want to bring out the truth, and not only bring out the struggle which is internal to the secret society and to the church itself, because never ever has to happen that people think that we in the Monte Carlo Lodge support a gay pope. That's an insult. For us, the church is finished. The moment they have a gay pope sitting on the throne of St. Peter, that for us is a church that doesn't exist any longer. It's not our church. We don't recognize it as our church.
So what happens to all these other members of the Monte Carlo Lodge?
First of all,